What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 15. The episode was titled Chapter 3, Rebirth, you guys. So, before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, you guys, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss The Real Housewives of Atlanta, shall we? Now, before we go ahead and get into it, I hope y'all can hear me over this fan. If not, we're gonna have to deal with it because I'm hot. And I realize part of the reason why I be so hot is because of this ring light. Oh, Jesus, this ring light. So yeah, y'all gonna hear this fan for a good few minutes until I cool down. And it is what it is. So what I will say with this episode, it really wasn't much to discuss with this episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was a cute episode for what it was. I'm still puzzled when it comes to Phaedra. Why does Phaedra still feel the need to shade Angela? Like, I just don't get why she feels the need to shade Angela, but neither here nor there. So, remember last week's episode, it ended, oh, my eyes watering. Last week's episode ended with the ladies, rallying around Shamia and, being there to uplift Shamia and all that kind of stuff. So the night ended and we see the girls, they were by the pool, they were twerking on each other, having a good girlfriend time, right? So then the next morning we see as Angela, I actually feel like Angela with this fan. Speaking of Angela, because I didn't even see it until after the show aired last week. The BET Awards, that is. Did y'all see Angela at the BET Awards in that auditorium with that fan on her? I was like, girl, Angela, it might be time to say you might not be menopausal, but you are definitely perimenopausal, mama. Because why are you in an auditorium? I get it's a lot of people in there, baby girl, when nobody in that auditorium sweating, except for people who may have been performing. You weren't performing. Angela, baby, it's perimenopausal. It's perimenopause. Now, I'm not a woman, so it's nothing. It ain't nothing menopausal with me. It's a goddamn on hot ass ring light. And it's the fact that I live in Texas and it's summer. I think we feel good right about now, so we can turn that fan off. So, yeah, so this episode, we see Angela and Drew having a conversation with each other, right? And, Angela's talking about how good the night before went. And then she said, I see, she was talking about the whole Brit and Shamia thing. And then she said, I look out the side of my eyes and I see you. So they show a flashback of Drew, and Drew is just giving Brit the face like, girl, Brit, she was giving Brit the face that I was giving Brit last week, because I was like, Brit, what are we doing? What is this? What's going on, Brit? Like, I wasn't understanding any of that with Brit. There go my air conditioner just turned on. Like, I wasn't understanding anything with Brit last week. So, Drew feels like Brit is an actress. I was like, I do too. So then they also talked about the night before at dinner with Shamia, Brit, and Kelly, right? How Brit was by herself because typically Kelly comes to Brit's defense, but at that dinner table, she didn't go to Brit's defense. And I was like, okay, I mean, y'all seeing so I guess what y'all are saying is y'all see a little hole in the friendship. So then we move over to Shamia's room. So we see Shamia. So Shamia is on the phone with her mama, and her mother is telling her about Shiloh and everything, right? And what I found interesting was when her mama was telling her when she got to the house, the one, I get what no, I don't get it, right? Because I know that when it comes to hospitals, right, the reason that they're so cold is because germs can't survive in very cold temperatures, right? So I get that. But this baby had a fever. So I'm pretty sure with a fever, she's sweating. So you put a sweaty baby, in, like that's like with, I mean, you're gonna make the baby sicker. you're gonna make them sicker. So I didn't understand. So she said that the baby was in a room with air conditioning. It sounded like the baby didn't have no clothes on either. Yeah, I'm with Gerald. That person, whoever that woman was or man, more probably was a woman, don't ever need to come back, right? So then we see as Portia is talking to Cynthia, and she's telling Cynthia, everything is good with the baby. Then Portia got this big, huge hat, right? The hat looked like it looked like a straw hat, but it also looked like it had feathers on it, right? So while they were talking, there was a knock on the door, and it was Phaedra. So Phaedra comes in to be. Seems like to me, Phaedra came in there just to be like the town gossip, just to spread the business of everybody. And she's still, like I said, once again, she's still shading Angela, talking about Angela looks like a school teacher. I was like, Phaedra, before all this plastic surgery that you had, before you got, all this work done to your face and your body, how did you look? Let's just take a look down memory lane. Let's take a before and after. Let's find a before picture of Phaedra. What Phaedra used to look like. If it'll clear up, baby. So, Phaedra, before the plastic surgery, that's you. I ain't saying you was an ugly woman, but that's you. That's you. So for you to keep sitting here shading Angela, let's not forget how you used to look. Once again, for the people in the back and who need a visual, this is Phaedra. This is Phaedra that we met season 4 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. The woman who didn't know her own due date. Okay? Let's not forget that, Phaedra. Let's not forget that. Before you started wearing the bust down wigs, before you got your titties, got your titties sat up. Like, let's not forget, Phaedra. Let's not do that. Yeah, Angela got her nose done, and it looks bad. But Angela's not a bad looking woman, so for you to keep sitting her shading her, you look like a high school PE teacher when we first met you. So what now, Phaedra? Like, girl, go to hell and stop. Get off of my television screen with this bullshit, Phaedra. That's all I gotta say. So then Phaedra talks about Britt, right? And so she's talking about the fact that Britt said that did she call her Tinkerbell? Yeah, she called her Tinkerbell, right? So she says that the Glam Squad has to go with Tinkerbell, and if not, there'd be some issues, basically, or else, right? And this is why I was listening to this conversation. I was incredibly confused, right? We know that she's talking about Kelly, but if it's Kelly's Glam Squad and she's paying them, then I don't really see the issue that her Glam Squad has to go with her or else. Now, Kelly, what I will say is you might want to fire that Glam Squad. I'm just gonna say that because your Glam Squad doesn't do you any favors, right? Because your confessionals with the red lip. Oh, that red lip. I look at that red lip every week and I be like, God damn, who did this? And why? I don't know what the issue is with her red. I don't know what it is the issue is with the red lip. I don't know if it's the fact that them lip fillers are way too big. Because her lips, them lip fillers, because then her top lip, like it look like her top lip part of her lip sits up like this. It sits like somewhere up here. It sits up. Then it's puffed like they. And then that red accentuates whatever is going on with your lips, right? Then your style is terrible. Oh my God, I hate every confessional look from Kelly. Every last one of them have been horrendous. And then every time she's on Watch What Happens Live, her outfits are horrible, especially the one when she was recently on Watch What Happens Live with this big shoulder thing that went around her. And I was like, oh God, who the fuck is dressing Kelly? Kelly, again, fire your Glam Squad. But Britt, here's my thing for you. If what Phaedra's saying is true, You can't be mad that she pays them people. You ain't paying them. And like, we'll talk about Brit a little bit later, because I'm really thinking I'm right about Brit. I don't think it's that the heifer is broke. I think it's the heifer is frugal as hell and cheap as hell. And that be a little tangent. I don't understand people like that, right? I do not understand people like that who care more about what they drive, what kind of person, what kind of car they drive, right? If a man carries a wallet, which you should, but if a man is carrying a wallet, what kind of wallet he got? Is it a designer wallet? With women, what kind of purse they carry? Is it designer? What clothes they have on? Is it designer, right? I never understand people who care more about pleasing others, because I know people in my life who they are all about the exterior, right? They love a nice fancy. They like the nice cars. They, like the designer clothes. But you see their house, bitch, living in a goddamn shack. And there's people in my hometown like this, right? And the houses they live in, be renting a house, and it's a raggedy ass fucking house, but got a nice car. Got a nice car where designer, shoes, clothes, bags, wallets, all that shit. And I think that's who Brit is. I think Brit is one of those people who cares about pleasing other people by what she wears, right? And Brit doesn't give a fuck about a charity, the first. Because for her to, getting ahead of myself, right? Getting ahead of myself. Now, the girls are talking, and they are noticing a little bit of a difference between Brit and Kelly, right? Because Brit and Kelly, at one point, they were dressing alike, basically finished each other's sentences, and at dinner table, Kelly was, right there riding with Shamia. So we'll put a pause in that. Now, we do see as Brit went to go to Kelly's room. And so we find out from Kelly that Kelly, once she gets back, she had a phone call with her lawyer, but she's gonna have to have another one because once she gets back from Grenada, she and Mark are gonna have to go to court, to settle up on this divorce, right? So then while they're talking, Brit does mention, the whole conversation that happened at the dinner table, right, about charity. So Brit says to Kelly, like, I asked you, like, how much should I give? Like, what is a good amount? That right there let me know Brit has never donated to a charity before. Brit has never donated anything to a charity, because if you have to ask somebody what is a good amount to give to a charity, then that tells me all I need to know right there. You don't care about other people. You are selfish, self-centered, right? Because charity, like I said in the last review, it comes from within. Like, whatever you feel is a good amount to give to a charity is what you give, right? And so Brit felt like $250 was a good amount to give to a charity. Do I think Brit could have ponied up and gave at least $1,000? Yes, she could have, right? But again, like I said, we can see that there's no charitable bone in Brit Edie's body. And that's what I think the true issue is. Because again, I'm gonna repeat it. Why do you have to ask somebody what is a good amount to give? Again, if you are doing this from the goodness of your heart, and like I also said in last week's review, some people do this as a tax. Most people, let's be real, most people who got money only donate to charities to write it off on their taxes. Like, let's be real. Why do you guys think so many people voted for that orange man? Because they want a tax, right? They want a tax credit from him, and he's looking like he's about to give it to him, right? Let's be real about the situation. People in a certain tax bracket, they don't really care about charity. They can pretend. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them do and some of them don't, right? And I think that's what it is with Brit. I just don't think that Brit has the spirit of being charitable in her heart. I really don't. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I don't feel. You guys may feel opposite, but I don't think it's a bad thing that not everybody wants to. Not everybody, is hospitable. Not everybody's like that. So they had that conversation, and then they also talked about this whole glam squad, and they showed they did 2 split screens of Britt's interview and Kelly's interview. Like I said a few minutes ago, Kelly, you need a new glam squad because they keep showing you with this red lip, and it look like it's oh God, that red lip, that lip. Kelly, I know you got lip fillers. Please go get them taken. Go get them. Can they? When it comes to lip fillers, what do they do with them? Like, do they dissolve them? Do they take them out? Whatever they do to lip fillers, you need to go ask them. You need to go ask them for it, right? Because your lips kind of look like Carly Red's lips, and I hated her lips for a very long time. Your lips are giving Carly Reds, but yeah, they had that conversation. Like I said a minute ago too, Britt, if you could afford your own glam squad, girl, pay for them. Because I kind of get Kelly's point of view. You not gonna hold meetings with my glam squad. You not gonna talk to my glam squad. Let me say this, on my dime. Let me say that on my dime. Because let's be for real. Some of these girls do share, makeup artists, hair people, right? They're not exclusive to one person. That's one thing I will say. They're not exclusive to anybody. They work for different people. But on the offset, you're not gonna hold conversations with my people and not pay them. That's number one. You're not gonna try to talk to them on my dime. That's number one. But if it was just she liked what your makeup artist did for her, and she wants to use your makeup artist, Kelly, you don't have any autonomy over who that person works for and don't work for. You may pay them for your services, but they can go do, if they want to go do makeup for Portia, they can go do makeup for Portia. If they want to go do makeup for Britt, they can do makeup for Britt. If they want to do it for Phaedra, Cynthia, Angela, and Drew, they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. So, yeah, I will say that. So y'all both have points. Moving on. Now, after this, we see as the ladies are out by the pool, and now I think it said the chairman of tourism. His name was Randall. Was that man's name? If his name ain't Randall, my apologies, sir. My apologies. He was bow-legged as hell. When he left, because I heard them say he was bow-legged, when that man walked out, I was like, oh, I see it now. I definitely see him being bow-legged now, because at first I didn't see it. So the ladies saw Randall, they're like, oh, are all the men in Grenada found like this? They were swooning over him. I was like, Randall, you are a guppy in a sea of sharks. Now, why did Kelly and Shamia come out dressed like the Doublemint twins? I was like, oh God. That's one thing in this world that at my big grown ass age, I don't want to dress like nobody else. I don't mind if we have a color scheme or something like that, but to just intentionally try to dress like something, bitch, it ain't gonna happen. It will never happen for me personally. Now, this ain't no slight, no shade to nobody who does it, so I don't want nobody to feel no type of way. So when Randall came, he was talking to them about Jab Jab. So we got the history of Jab Jab from Portia and somebody else. I forgot who else we got it from. So Jab Jab, I'm gonna read it to you guys. So Jab Jab is a traditional masquerade. Jab Jab is a traditional masquerade character central to Grenada's Spiceman's Carnival, particularly during the, I can't pronounce that. It involves participants covering themselves in black oil, tar, or paint, often accompanied by chains and horns to represent a devil-like figure. This character derived from the French word, I can't pronounce that either, but it means devil. It embodies resistance and defiance, reflecting the history of enslaved Africans and their mockery of colonial oppressors, right? I would love to participate in Jab Jab. One thing I will say, it was them showing the men. I was like, wow, you see a lot of penis just thrusting. Because one man, I was like, I wasn't trying to look, but I was like, wow, that's a lot that I'm seeing in my face, just seeing it on this camera. I can only imagine what it's like to be in the presence of Jab Jab. But I mean, it looks like a really good time. And I'm glad that they showed this episode when they showed it, because this past weekend was the celebration of Juneteenth weekend, right? And we know Juneteenth is going to be, what, this Wednesday? Is Wednesday Juneteenth? If I'm wrong, correct me. But I think I am wrong. Juneteenth is Thursday. Okay, so Juneteenth is Thursday. Cool. But yeah, so I thought it was cool. And then we see, as actually before that, remember, I told you guys, Kelly is going to have to take a phone call with her attorney. So she left to go talk to her attorney. Now, she was talking about some kind of property, but she said that Mark sold it and it was a gift to her. Girl, that man is putting you through hell. But before she went down there, we saw her talking to Drew and Shamia, right? We also found out that her and Drew share their anniversaries are the same date. And we found out that Mark is on his 6th attorney, and Drew was like, Ralph is on his 3rd attorney. I was like, wow, the men y'all married, assholes, especially Ralph. Ralph is the biggest asshole I've ever saw. He is on a smear campaign when it comes to Drew. I really feel like that, right? So then we see the ladies as, they got ready for Jab Jab. Now, traditionally, I think they said Jab Jab is celebrated at 6 a.m. on the Monday that starts Carnival, right? But since they're not going to be there, they are going to start it a little early. And, we see them as they go through I'm about to say Carnival. It's not Carnival. Jab Jab. The ladies had a really good time. I enjoyed seeing them. And yeah, you guys, then we see them the next morning as they are getting ready to go back to Atlanta. And, they were talking about how they cleaned themselves off the night before. And we found out that, Britt, she really went into the crevices of Phaedra. It's so funny because Britt is helpful to Phaedra, but Phaedra keeps shading her because Phaedra was talking about her titty, how I guess her nipple was poked in and she just pushed it and it popped out. Yeah. What is there to say about Phaedra? Why is she here? I guess that's what I can say. Why is Phaedra here? Why is Phaedra Parks here? I don't get it. But hey, that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn on your post notifications and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe out there, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So next up, you guys, I'm going out of order. I'm going out of order with the reviews. But next up will be Baddies Africa. And then the last video today should be the Never Ever Mets. I have not watched episode 10. I did finish episode 9. I just got to finish episode 10. And then I'll come on here, record that. And it'll be up for you guys to see it. Whenever that is. I don't know. But if I haven't said it, stay safe, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I really feel like I said that. But if I didn't, I repeated it. And it is what it is. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Bye, y'all.